Feeling some inky fun in cheerful colors? In this video I am making a birthday card using vellum, die cuts and a fun background made with distress oxide ink. And I placed a brightly colored guinea pig right on top. It is a great way to lift your mood and you will pick up some easy techniques along the way. Enjoy card making with me! Hello, it's CisVolk! Here they are again, the fun guinea pigs from Carla Creates that makes us all smile. This one I will use today, but don't worry if you don't have any guinea pigs. You can of course replace it for something else. I picked 4 bright colors of distress oxide ink and I will use this embossing folder again with vellum this time. And I will use the flower die and sentiment dies. For today's card we need a card base that is 13.5 cm square. Then we need a card panel. It is half a centimeter smaller, so it is 13 cm square. It will create a nice wide border around the card. Then we need a smaller panel that measures 10 cm and a piece of vellum that measures 9.5 cm square. This all we will stack on top of each other to make a square card, and of course this cute guinea pig will be on it. But first let's start with some distress oxide inking on the card panel. I took Twisted Citron, Mowed Lawn, Peacock Feathers and Uncharted Mariner distress oxide ink. This time I used just regular white paper for the card panel. Very lightly, with just the ink that was still on my blending foams, I apply some ink on the paper. I randomly choose where to apply ink, but always on the edges, as there will be a smaller panel on top. So in the middle there is no ink needed. I make rotating movements and don't press too hard. Mixing and blending the colors is relaxing to do, and I like the bright color combination. I also made a trial version that was much heavier on the ink, but I like it better when lightly applied, so this one is lighter. You do what you like. Take the colors that you like and enjoy the ink and the coloring process. As I said, this is regular paper. It is smooth, but the ink reacts differently to the paper as watercolor paper. Try it out yourself and see the difference. When you want a smooth blend and a thick layer of ink and also lots of water smudging, then watercolor paper gives the best results. Only now I apply a light layer and don't apply much water, so I don't need to use a watercolor paper, only for the coloring of the guinea pig. When you're satisfied with how the ink panel looks, we go on with the next step. Spray a light mist of water over the paper. Then take a paper towel or microfiber towel and dab the water off gently. You will see the bright drops where the water reacted with the ink. Now we're going to make a quick and cheap smoosh tool, using just some kitchen paper and a plastic bag. I roll 2 pieces of kitchen paper into a bowl and pop it inside the plastic bag. You can make it bigger by adding more paper or even put a rubber band around it to keep it for future use. We are using the same colors of distress oxide ink as before, which are Uncharted Mariner, Twisted Citron, Peacock Feathers and Mowed Lawn. Now I give the ink a light spray of water. Using that ink smoosher, you can pick up some of the ink and dab it onto the paper for some lovely marble look smooshes. If you'd like to see more of this technique, check out the YouTube channel NB Cards. She's the one who gave her smoosher tool that name. This technique gives you more control than dabbing the paper straight onto the ink on your mat. It's also a neater way to work. You can apply the blue ink on the yellow spots and the yellow ink on the blue spots, which ultimately creates a mixed color. I think it's very beautiful. Let's do some dry embossing now on that square piece of vellum. If you were to emboss it with only vellum in the embossing folder, you might end up with a wrinkled or damaged result. This is my tip to prevent that from happening. Take 2 scraps of paper. Place one on the bottom of your embossing folder. Now take your piece of vellum and place it in the right position behind the front of the folder. Close the lid while holding the vellum in place. And then open it again. Now place the second scrap piece of paper on top. And now you can emboss it. See? The result is much better than embossed without extra paper. So now you know, if you emboss a piece of vellum with a scrap piece of paper underneath and on top, you will get a crisp and neat result. If you emboss vellum on its own, it can wrinkle or even tear. Let's give this sheet some color. How easy it is to use again the same ink blending tools with the same colors. There is enough ink on the foam to give the vellum some color. Don't add too much ink and apply lightly. We still want to be able to see that it is vellum. Spread the ink randomly. And remember that some blue ink on top of the greens make it pop when applied lightly. While this dries, I will also emboss the flap of the square envelope. It exactly fits in the 3D embossing folder. I did not put an extra piece of paper inside. It worked out well for the envelope paper. Let's also decorate the front of the envelope. I add some colors lightly and quickly. Maybe a bit too quick, because I made a blue stain. Don't worry, I will solve that. But first I will protect the envelope by putting a piece of watercolor paper inside. Now I can cover up that stain by adding ink with the smooshing technique. And now the envelope matches the card even better. Do you like to make matching envelopes? Let me know in the comments. I use a double-sided adhesive to stick the card panel to the card base. The outer strips I peel off halfway and only peel them off completely once the card is in the right position. The smaller white panel I adhere with 1 mm foam blocks. Having that panel raised gives more dimension to the card, which adds to the embossing of the card. On a piece of Florence watercolor paper, I now will stamp, heat emboss and color that cute guinea pig. Enjoy the process while you watch! For the final decoration of the card, I die cut a bunch of white flowers. It is cut out of the same white DCP paper as I used for the card. The happy birthday die I will cut out of the same paper, only there is double-sided adhesive on the back side of the paper. I die cut it twice, so I can stick them on top of each other for a dimensional effect. The colored guinea pig will be glued to the vellum panel using foam blocks. When positioning it, I keep in mind that there will be text underneath. On the back of the vellum I place 2 mm foam blocks, in the exact same spots as the ones holding the guinea pig. Only these 4 foam blocks will keep the vellum panel in place on the card. For now I stick the sentiment in place, but I can already tell it needs a bit of extra color to stand out. The die-cut flowers will be placed randomly around the card border. I double them up by gluing 2 layers together. Finding the right fit can be a bit tricky. If you look closely at the petal with the flattened edge, you will see that there is only one shape like that. Match it with the same petal on the other flower, and they will line up perfectly. These flowers are not as delicate as the text, so I can glue them together with normal glue instead of double-sided tape. I stick the flowers on the card with foam blocks. I would like to have some color in the center of the flowers. On a scrap die-cut flower, I will first test how it will look if I add a few dots of ink to it. For it I use the colors Mowed Lawn and Peacock Feathers. A very thin water brush helps me to make small dots. I like it, so now I apply it to the centers of the die-cut flowers on the card. My sentiment needs some color. I want to die cut the sentiment out of this paper that I made to test the color combination of today. A part of this blue paper would be nice to stick on top or under the white sentiment. I choose to stick it under the white sentiment, where the white sentiment is shifted 1 mm to the right. Advantage of the double-sided adhesive is that it can still be replaced and it doesn't leave ugly stains on the vellum. Glossy accents give the flower centers a nice shine. And I don't know what you think of this guinea pig with its slightly red head, but I also add some gloss to the nose and lower lip. I may have gone a bit overboard with the whiskers. They are a bit too thick, I know. But still, is it not just too cute? Now that I am working on it, I might as well also add a nice glossy finish to the sentiment. Waiting for it to dry completely is the part that takes most patience. I remove the excess glossy accents from the openings of the letters with a sharp scoring tool. Even if you don't have the same dies or stamps I used, I hope the techniques or the way I created my card inspired you. All information you need to know is in the description below. You can share your creations inspired by my work with the hashtag #InspiredByCisVolk and also tag me at CisVolk. Like, subscribe and follow me. I will see you next time. Bye bye!